Hey everybody. Okay, so we're getting some late training up this week, and I wanted to, so it's coming up on Friday. Usually if you follow our training channels or our YouTube channels, we usually try to get it up earlier in the week, but we had a high school graduate in our house this week. So kudos to our school district who did a great job trying to piece together a virtual graduation, and my oldest is done with high school. So it was kind of a busy week in our household, and let the graduation party planning begin. So my apologies that this is late, but I work to have some work-life balance so I can do fun things with my kiddos, and this was an important one in our household. So it gave me an opportunity to kind of come up with this topic that I wanted to discuss, and my team has been doing a fair amount of the training this week, so these are just what I have watched happen in my own exhaustion and things that have come up in some of my own entrepreneur groups that I participate in. So I thought we'd talk about it quickly and probably stir some controversy, but we'll see how it goes. So we talk a fair amount here at Oxygen when you are a coaching client of ours one-on-one about conviction. And it doesn't really go about in anything, any training topic specifically. I am just a huge advocate of conviction. I believe that you have to have a fair amount of conviction. It goes along with being thick-skinned in a sales career or owning your business or managing others, being a parent, any one of those roles that we play in life. Conviction is something that we all struggle with at least once, if not many times in life, but we have to work through it. And it's a practice makes progress, not a practice makes perfect thing in life. But it occurred to me this week as my own demons can surface when you've got big life events like this happening. And to be completely transparent, life events like this put me in the face of my ex-husband, my kids. It's hard for my kids with everybody being together. It's been 10 years, but it's not always a kind environment. And it's emotional. It's an emotional thing for any parent, but especially a mom when big life events like that happen. I'm raising a very spirited young woman. So conviction is something that I talk to my kids about even a lot, that you have to stand for something. And you have to know why you stand for it. When my kids were young, I was perfectly okay if you didn't even agree with me, but I wanted you to understand and be able to communicate clearly why you believed in a certain thing. So conviction is something that we talk about a lot, both professionally and personally in my world. And over the course of the last week, it occurred to me that there is this line, and I actually did some research on it. There's this line, and it's even maybe more fine than I thought it was going to be when I brought this topic into my notebook and started prepping it for today, between conviction and opinion. So what is the difference between conviction and opinion? And I actually Googled it. So if this is something that intrigues you, Google it. There's a bunch of different things popped up. But so I clicked on 4 or 5 of them. Without getting overly philosophical here, it comes down to conviction is a stand that's strongly based in your beliefs, that is more based on fact, maybe through your religious upbringing or just passed on down through other generations, and at some point was based on fact, and you have formed a belief base that has passed through fact. Your opinion is your view on a fact. So you may have a view on a current medical a medical view or a current medical policy, and it's your perception or your outlook on that fact. But your conviction is actually your belief based on fact. So that was how that those two things are compared. So we encourage you, whether you're going into a meeting or you're just working on your own identity through here, to stand strong in your conviction. And there's a couple reasons why we do that. And we very, very rarely even talk about opinions. Opinions, everybody knows about opinions. So one of the reasons why I encourage you about conviction to be strong in it and know it and look into it and not necessarily be inflexible. We don't really ever want you to be inflexible, but just know it, understand where it's come from and why you believe what you believe, is so that in business or in personal, but in business, you are comfortable saying no to a business deal or to hiring someone, or because you are more accustomed or you're more comfortable in what won't fit. A lot of times it's easier to say no to something that you know isn't a good fit while you're seeking the right fit. So that's one of the reasons why we encourage you to be super strong in your convictions. It's also important to be strong in your convictions so you know what to pursue and why you pursue it. For me, it helps me decide what I'm going to do philanthropically. It helps me decide where I'm going to push my risk, where I know I need to put my foot down and push further, or I understand why a door closed on me, and that's okay. And I understand that, and you know what, it's just not the right fit, and I move on. So understanding where my convictions come from is really important to me, and we work on that a lot on our one-on-one coaching. Your convictions don't have to be the same as mine. Very rarely do I anticipate that, but I just encourage you to know what yours are and to make your decisions in business based on your convictions. Your opinions are what make this country unique. Everybody can have an opinion, unless it's drastically illegal. Everybody can have their own opinion. Where I start to struggle here, and why I figured this would be a good topic to talk about, is when we attempt to force our opinions on another person. And in my eyes, that's when we are no longer okay when someone tells us no. Well, I think you should do this. I think you should buy this. And someone says no, and you can't take no for an answer. You're no longer doing the right thing. You no longer are standing on that line that you know what your company stands for. And this sounds very philosophical. It sounds very kind of wishy-washy as we do this as a one-sided conversation in this video. But really think about, are you pushing your opinion, or are you standing in your conviction and you're willing to let someone tell you no, and you're going to be okay with that? Here's where I think relevant to what's going on and some of the things that you see in maybe some of our mainstream media, this is where I think that it warrants some conversation or just attention. Right now, there are two huge big box retailers that have different policies on whether you wear a mask or you don't wear a mask in their store. And there are customers who feel that their opinion on whether they should have to wear a mask in their store or not, it's up to them. Well, I realize that wearing a mask in today's, both the medical world and the economy and all those things present their own sense of question. You get to choose whether you do business with one or the other. One requires a mask, one does not. If you believe that you should not have to wear a mask, then It's okay if you decide you no longer do business with the one that requires you to wear a mask. That is what this country stands for. And that's why I challenge you as a business owner to know where you want to draw the line. Because for as many dollars as you think, kicking your high chair and taking your money away from the place that requires you to wear a mask, there are that many people who will choose to do business with that company because they feel more comfortable going there than they do with the place that doesn't require you to wear a mask. It is a free country. And so as both a consumer and a business owner, it's important. It's okay that you have a unique pairing, that you are comfortable one way or the other, and they are comfortable one way or the other. We never have to do business with people. Granted, there are laws against prejudice and things like that, and that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about choosing to take your business someplace that you feel safe or someplace that you don't feel safe. Making a scene does not make, that is forcing your opinion on people. Take your opinion someplace else. And I think that when you see that kind of thing on the mainstream media, or people are videoing it, or whatever, there's two things to consider. First of all, take your rights someplace else to consume product, because there's plenty of choices right now, and we should be using those rights to go wherever we want to shop. And if you don't want to follow that company's policies, then go shop someplace else. But here's the second part. You are becoming belligerent on someone's child. Employees do not make these policies. Employees are there working. They are paying income tax. They are making a living wage. They are doing a job you may not want to do. And they are there supporting you in you doing your shopping. So being an asshat to these employees is not helpful. If you're the owner, do you want people behaving that way? I struggle so greatly when I think to myself, I have a child that works in a grocery store. If I found out that you were being belligerent to my child, I would have an issue. If you'd like to go to the CEO of this company and take it up with them, then that's a little bit different. But then again, that's you standing by your conviction, not your opinion because you're upset and kicking your high chair that you can't have what you want. That is ridiculous. That is immature. And that is for someone trying to exercise their right to wear or not wear a mask, in this example. Your right is to shop someplace else. Your right is to not patronize that organization. As a business owner, stand in your conviction. If you believe that people shopping or patronizing your location should have to wear a mask, great. Do that and understand that for every customer you lose because they don't agree with you, you will gain as many, if not more, because they will feel more comfortable shopping. My opinion, whether you should wear a mask or not, is completely moot in this topic. I don't have that type of interaction with people. The closest you get to me and the germs that I hold are via video conference, unless I come into one of your sales meetings in person, which really doesn't hold to our model right now. We're almost completely virtual. But if you have people in your organization, know whether you want them or you don't want them doing certain things. A great example is Chick-fil-A. They're still not open on Sunday. Do you know how badly I'd love a Chick-fil-A sandwich on a Sunday? It doesn't matter. That is them in their convictions and in their beliefs. They don't open on Sunday. you could go all the way to the CEO and that's still not going to get you anywhere. But does that stop you from shopping there or eating there Monday through Saturday? I mean, I don't know. That's up to you. That's your decision. So if you're comfortable patronizing a company that stands strong enough in their convictions to not open on Sunday, then why do you feel that it's okay to make a scene to someone over a mask? Again, free country. If you don't like it, shop someplace else. If you're the owner of a company, I encourage you to stand strong enough in your convictions and know where they came from. Your conviction is different than your opinion, and forcing your opinions on other people because you're not getting your way. I can't come up with better imagery than a toddler standing there kicking their high chair because they're not getting their way. Be kind to these employees that are there that didn't make these policies. They're just trying to do their job. Every dollar that goes on their paycheck is income tax. It's not unemployment. There's tons of people on unemployment that would love to be working. And, you know, the reality is that if you have issues with this kind of thing, either as a consumer or as a business owner, wherever you stand in this dynamic, the best place for you to take up these issues is at the ballot box. And I can't tell you how many people I have talked to, even shamefully in my own family. And I'm not sitting in my office today, but you all have seen multiple military pictures. My family has served in multiple branches of the military that are not even registered to vote. Register yourself to vote and take your issues up at the ballot box. Please, I deplore you, please be kind to these people that you are working with. If we have learned nothing in the last 8 weeks, be kind to the people that are working in this just nasty time. People, be kind to each other, and take your issues up at the ballot box. Ask people for term limits. Whatever your politics are, that is your conviction. That is what you should be standing for. It doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what you believe. And these young people, or these people who have tons and tons of time on their feet and are away from their families, our first responders, all of those people, please, for the love of God, a simple thank you and a smile will go a long way. And we talked about it in the last video. You know, even with your face covered, you can see when someone's genuinely smiling. So hopefully we don't have too much controversy. I really, we're happy to help you work through the conviction part. I'm sure I will hear from somebody that wants to give me their opinion. I was not looking to necessarily hear about everybody's opinion, but I just encourage you as an owner or as someone who's just out there and feels it necessary to inject your opinion someplace where maybe it's not the right audience, to understand that, it's not always fair to interject your opinion on people that don't necessarily need it, but it is okay to have some conviction. Just be prepared that it's not always, your conviction isn't everybody else's. So I hope everyone is staying well. Please feel free to reach out to us for coaching. We can do some identity role training for the conviction piece. If you have meetings coming up or anything else that's shifting or adjusting, we're happy to help. And I hope everybody takes just a little bit of time to breathe life in. Have a great day, everybody.